Welcome to Equal Entertainment. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. The 76th Annual Tony Awards will not be televised because of the ongoing Writers Guild of America strike. The union denied a request from the Tonys to keep striking writers from protesting outside the venue, and another request to allow it to stream on Paramount Plus and air on CBS. The show was going to be held at the United Palace in New York City. The committee is reportedly considering a non-televised news conference-style presentation on the original date of June 11th. Another option under consideration is to wait until the strike is over, then hold a live show. Earlier this month, the strike forced the MTV Movie Awards to change format. Actor and Jeopardy host Mayim Bialik says she is not hosting the final week of Jeopardy in support of the writer's strike. Bialik's co-host Ken Jennings will take over the hosting duties for that week. Officials say production will continue because the questions were written before the strike began. Members of the Writers Guild of America walked off their jobs on May 2nd after their contracts with the major studios expired. Writers are demanding better pay, residuals, staffing requirements, and shorter exclusivity deals. Kelly Clarkson is responding to reports about a toxic work environment at her talk show. Some current and former employees told Rolling Stone magazine they felt bullied, overworked, and underpaid. The employees did not complain about Clarkson, but instead mentioned the top producers on the show. Clarkson posted on Instagram that she intends to address the issue and make sure none of her staff feels disrespected. She said she is committed to creating and maintaining a healthy work environment. Clarkson says senior staff, including herself, will undergo leadership training. Jonathan Majors is still facing assault charges in New York, but may already be back out on the dating scene. Majors was spotted catching a movie at the Alamo Drafthouse in Los Angeles with actor Meagan. The potential new couple was first reported by TMZ and confirmed by People magazine. Majors denies the charges against him in connection with a domestic incident back on March 25th. Australian comedian Hannah Gadsby is at the top of their game right now. They just dropped a brand new special on Netflix called Something Special. It's laugh-out-loud funny, and in it, Gadsby discusses queer joy, the powers that be at Netflix, and much more. I had the pleasure of speaking with Hannah about how their special is more than just about telling jokes. Well, thank you for chatting with me, and congratulations on the new special.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Yes, well, I want to kind of start with a little bit maybe of a technical question. It is so beautifully constructed in the writing. The storytelling has such an incredible arc, and I wonder if you would talk a little bit about the process of how you get to there. I was really surprised by the end. So I wonder if you could chat a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I always start with a story that I want to share, which is, of course, in this one, it is the proposal story. And I work around that. So at various stages during the touring process, that story lived in different places. And eventually I build, I'll tell another story and I will see a link and then start to emphasize the links between stories as I realize that. So then they feel like they belong together, and then you separate them, and then it becomes like a callback. And that's part of, how I constructed this show to make people feel good. It's because it does make you feel good when things come back, and it reminds you of it. And you're like, oh, that thing. But then also you put a twist on it. So it's like, oh, that thing. And then you laugh. And it's a really nice feeling. I love doing that.
Yeah, it's really incredible writing. And one of the things that struck me is going back to Nanette and you talking about your journey as a queer person and as someone who has autism, and now you're on stage, you're talking about these things openly, talking about your relationship with your wife, and joking about why you don't have sex with men, which is hilarious in the way that you put it, and then also saying what you can push with lesbian audiences, which is also very true. But I think there's something really poignant in that you get to do this on stage and just be incredibly open about it, having come from a background where you couldn't be very open. What does it mean to you to be able to do that at this moment and to share that with the world?
It means an enormous amount. When I first started doing comedy, of course, I couldn't do that. I was undiagnosed with autism for a start, so I was working blind there. And then also I was working in a lot of cliches around my identity. And so, Nanette, 3 specials ago, was very much trying to break out of that and create a space where I can have a genuinely more authentic voice on stage. So it does feel great. I was right to fight for that.
Yes.
because it's, having undiagnosed autism, you're always masking. And a lot of that is painful. And so I felt like on stage I was masking, and I just didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, well, congratulations, and thank you for your answer. Because of your kind of various identities that you share through your comedy, I imagine that people out there feel incredibly, connected to you in certain ways. And I wonder if you would share what it means to you to have people speak with you about how you've maybe made them feel less alone.
It's kind of it's difficult to process. That feels quite large. And, of course, it makes me feel like I take it very seriously. Like I take it quite seriously, probably too seriously. I don't know what the rule is. Autism. But the parasocial relationship is an interesting one. And people, particularly when you have a body of work such as that I've just put out on Netflix, that they are attached to quite personal parts of myself. So feels like a little bit of an honor and a mystery at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And then I wonder, you are in the business of making people laugh and using comedy to uplift others and for storytelling. And would you talk about how comedy shows up in your life and how that possibly heals you?
It's a double-edged sword. Humor is a healing force. Like, it does feel good to laugh and helps you reframe difficult things, but also you find yourself as a comedian always thinking from that angle, and I try not to do that, particularly when I'm not actively performing, because then you begin to see the world as a bit of a joke, which is probably not the best angle to approach life.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just wonder, how's your relationship with Jodie Foster now?
Well, I wrote her an email saying I was in town, haven't heard back, so great. No, pretty good. I let her know that she's going to be in the special, and I think she was a bit confused by that. It's like, people just talk about me now.
Thank you so much to Hannah for speaking with me. Something Special is streaming now on Netflix. Musician Smokey Robinson is raising eyebrows again after his interview with CNN's Chris Wallace. While speaking about his new album, Robinson doubled down on previous comments, saying he does not want to be called African American.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family has been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
Singer-songwriter Kim Petras and lifestyle mogul Martha Stewart are gracing the covers of Sports Illustrated's Swimsuit edition, along with Megan Fox and Brooks Nader. Petras has been breaking barriers in the music industry. She's the first transgender woman to appear on the cover of the long-running magazine. And at 81 years old, Martha Stewart is the oldest cover model for the brand. She is redefining beauty standards and proving that being comfortable in your own skin knows no age limit. Thank you for joining me for this Equal Entertainment. Visit us on the Advocate Channel YouTube for more. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and that's what's happening in entertainment.